Hey y'all, welcome back for another episode of More Than a Film podcast. Back for our Black History Month part 2 because you know it don't end. So we are here today to talk about something different. So what we here to talk about?
So we talked about Black filmmaking and pushing Black narratives from a filmmaker perspective. We wanted to see how it is from a viewer perspective, someone that's not a cinephile, not really into film, not a filmmaker. And so we want to shout out Color Code. This is in collaboration with them as well. And we wanted to bring our family.
Hey, man. Nobody better but to talk about with the people who seen us from year zero, you know, grow up, become these filmmakers, tell these stories. And we talk all the time about what is Black film and da-da-da, all that. But it's like, does it really stand up if we not really talk to the people who watching it, you know? So, yeah. So, what's up, y'all? How y'all feeling today? We good?
I'm excited.
Be better once I get past these questions.
No, it's gonna be so fun. So, but just for a second, y'all go around, introduce yourself real quick, and just something quick.
What's going on? I'm Kari. I'm Kai's younger brother, and I'm happy to be here. Let's get it.
So,
What type of movies do you like, Car?
You know, I like the movies like Boys in the Hood. You know, I watch Power. You know the stuff like that, like the, you know, on that type of side. You know, that's where my interest. And then I like the comedy stuff too.
Okay.
So, you know,
Okay.
you know.
We excited to hear more.
Facts.
Okay.
Moving on to the right of me.
hello everyone. I'm the mama bear, Teresa. I am the mother of Zoe and Kayla. We grew up in a wonderful neighborhood where we had the opportunity to live across the street from Kai and Curry. Yeah, so this is how these two met, and they've been riding since
Day
one
school.
time.
Day one. Yeah. In Hotep.
preschool, MTAF, the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, for real, for real.
So just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're about to ask me. Don't know if this is a good place for me to be right now. We'll figure it out by the end.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
love.
Kayla Brooks. This is my big sister. And yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 15. But yeah. And I love like movies with action and like comedy. I love Marvel. My
Okay.
favorite, it's DC though. But my favorite movie is Suicide Squad, which probably everyone knows because I probably watched it over 20 times.
That part.
Miss Teresa, what's your favorite movie?
I have a couple. So one, I'm not really into facts and all that stuff, but I love Hidden Figures. I love Hidden Figures was like so dope. They had a lot of good characters in there. I learned something new.
Yeah.
Because I sure didn't know any of that stuff before they actually made the movie. And I watch Marvels, which is pretty cool too. But I like action figures, like, you know, action movies, things that you don't normally see in the norm. Well, actually, it's probably someone else's norm. It's just not my norm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank y'all for sharing. So we gonna hit the ground running. So our first question for y'all is. So
I'm not ready.
It's Black History Month, and we just wanted to see, like, what does Blackness mean to you?
That's a very good question. Go ahead, Kayla. Tell us what blackness means to you.
Okay. So, Blackness means to me is culture and history. I think that's what the word, you know, just means to me.
Okay.
That was faith. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
What do it if you like in your senses, like you know how you feel and see and smell and stuff like that, how would you describe it through like your senses? If you could.
I don't think I could. I feel like just being around Black people just makes you more confident. I don't know. You just get that vibe when you're with, you know, people who are the same like you.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. What's
I'll
up?
go.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. It's giving me time.
Blackness to me, like being Black is like it's gonna open up a whole new world for you. You know, so like it opens up a lot of connections. You know, and I feel like you know it connects me to a whole lot of people, and then I feel like it's just the I want to say, hold on.
No, keep going. You're so good.
Okay, and then I just want to say it's like the stuff that all Black people have in common. Like I feel like growing up Black, we done all had the same experiences. Like you know, like we come in, all the Jews going like we just got it last night. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like those experiences and stuff like that is just I feel like what makes the Black culture. So
Okay. All right.
Oh, so now we're back to
Yeah, what you got for us?
So I was trying to feed off of y'all answers, and I feel like y'all got some really good ones. So what Blackness means to me, it means prosperity. I feel I love to give, but I also love to receive. And some of the best things that I have received has been other people that has been in my environment, in my culture. I've learned a lot. So it provided me the opportunity to give a lot. So that's what Blackness means to me. You did it. Yeah. It took a minute. Fire. All right. I'm ready for the next one. What you got?
Okay. Do y'all feel that there is a need to show films about slavery? This is where we started.
oh,
You have to go all the way.
Exactly.
What? Right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because when you have things that are filmed about slavery, it takes apart from the history books and, people's history story. I don't know. And we already have so many film movies about it. I feel like it's a good part of history, but it's also at the same time, like, do we want to bring that up? And, we've grown as Black people, but I don't know. I don't think there should be more films about it since we already have so many films about these stories and history books about it. I don't know.
Well, you want to answer? Or?
Well, I was saying that I think the opposite. Because, like, it's good to know, like, what was going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to know what was really going on back there because I wasn't a part of that time. So I just, I would like to get that visual instead of just reading on the book. Getting that visual, I think is good for me. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Miss Rachel? What you think?
I don't know. I have mixed emotions about that. One, it brings up a lot of animosity. It brings up a lot of tension. For some people, who are older, like, my parents and stuff, or other people's parents, it's like almost like PTSD. Like every single time I got to keep revisiting this space. I got to keep, reliving something that I thought I've gotten over. So I do feel like there's already enough stuff that's out there. If you really wanted to have that conversation, you can. But I think there's so much more about our culture, that so much that we have evolved, conquered, and overcame, that as of right now where I'm at, that ain't really what I want to watch.
Okay.
So how do y'all feel when y'all watch slave movies, like 12 Years a Slave, things like that? How do you guys, like, what's your reaction to them?
Or do you? Like, dang. Like, it's just like, it just takes me to a point where it's like, that's where I would have been if I was born in that time. So it kind of does scare me a little bit, kind of puts some weight on my heart, but I'm thankful.
It makes you really think of how, like, things you got. So it makes you grateful that you had people in your history who went through this, so you can be here, have a home that you own. And it's like, it's just crazy. It's just so weird.
It's very, to me, it's kind of hurtful to see people go through the pain that they go through and not have some of the same choices that we have today. Would I have been able to survive back then with my mental state and how I grew up? Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have been
I would have killed myself.
Right.
I say that every day.
Nah, somebody would have took me out. My mouth is slick. I'm real quick with a whole lot of stuff. And the only reason why I'm calm now is because I grew up, had kids, life kind of set in. But for where we at now, it does make you grateful.
Like, what type of movies, like, do y'all like to see? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, what type of Black representations in movies do y'all like to see? How do y'all like to see yourselves represented on screen? And do you think about it? Like, when you're watching a movie, do you think about it? Like, when you're watching it, like, dang, like, I wish, like, this was a Black person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that going through your head when y'all trying to pick movies out and stuff like that?
Yeah, because, like, you know, I'm a baseball player. So one of my favorite movies is 42. And I think that was executed perfectly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, just showing, like, how Jackie Robinson just broke that color barrier, and we were just able to, you know, comfortably play the sport at my color. Like, that was just amazing. But, you know, it's other movies where it's like, dang, like, where the Black folks at? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like, you know, I just feel like it's just a different type of films and movies.
But, you know, you were able to relate to that music and, I mean, to that movie. And that's what's important, too, is finding things that are relatable to you now, you know, right. And some people, like maybe your age or even younger, or even Kayla's age, they can't relate to like a slavery movie, but they can relate to like a 42 because he's in that industry. So I think it's better. We're gonna put things out there, put things that we can relate to, or you can relate to, with the Gen Z can relate to, and empower people in those positions who are of African descent, or, you know, Black people that can say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing, and this is why I'll be great at it. You know, so I think that's really good too.
So how do you guys mostly consume your Black history? Like, when you've learned most about Black history, where has it been from? Yeah. Has it been from school, textbooks, movies? Where has it been? Documentaries?
Movies.
Yeah,
movies. Okay.
Wasn't very attentive in school. So, like, I get all my history from the movies and, you know, just experiences, you know, being in a Black family, I'm, you know, bound to learn new stuff every day when I'm with them. So, you know, just being around family and being around my mom and dad, you know, just teaching me stuff here and there. And,
But, like, the history, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that go back and all this stuff, like, you... In school, was they like? Do you remember any lessons, or like you just getting it all from the movies?
Getting it all from the movies.
Okay, what's like a movie? So 42. What's some more movies that you got some history lessons from, if you can remember?
We Love Martin.
We Love Martin.
I remember that movie. That was like the cartoon about.
It was Martin Luther King. It was Martin Luther King Day last week, and I was like, "Come down here and watch our friend Martin."
She dragged me out the bed.
Because he's talking about he never seen it. Like, they used to pull that out every day.
But I didn't remember it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, they used to pull that out every day. You know what I'm saying? And come watch our friend Martin. You remember they used to show that at MTAF? I don't know if they were showing it at North Douglas. Our friend Martin.
Our friend. It's not We Love. It's not We Love.
Yeah, our friend Martin. Okay.
Yeah, she dragged me out the bed on MLK Day. And then come down to the living room and watch
you know what I'm saying? Because are they still showing that in schools? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we learning in schools? Like, are we actually... Because that was a good question, Zoe. Like, where are y'all consuming history? Like, is it just through film? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good question. Like, you too? Y'all too?
So right now, I'm a sophomore in high school. So through school, we just been learning slavery. And it's just like, at that time, I think in like middle school or elementary school, that's just how I saw, not obviously all Black people, not when I was little, but like that was just our history, just being slaves or whatever and going through that. But as I grew up and I got older, that's when older parts of my family started talking about me, about like back in the day and like in the 60s, the 50s, especially my grandpa. He can go on and on about whatever he did in ABC. But it's really like a learning lesson about how he worked and how people treated him and like the hotels. But I can't say I learned a lot from film as I was growing up because I'm a very visual person. I don't like to read. I read now, but I don't really like to read real stuff. So watching movies is a very learning lesson because I can see facial expressions of how people talk, how people act, what they wear, and stuff like that. So.
We learned it a lot in school growing up. You know, I don't know. Back then, we really didn't talk about history in the house. Uh, things that went on. I think pretty much because both my parents worked. Everyone was in their own zone, and when you're the youngest of five, you're just kind of like going with the flow. Everybody's just basically just trying to make it. Even me, I don't even remember teaching them that much about like history. If anyone, Zoe's like the biggest powerhouse on history in the house, like forever. Like, she be getting that phone, right? That is her. She been like that from birth, y'all. This is not something that's made up. No, the girl, right? I mean, I swear to you. So
you put me in a school called I'm Hotel. So
You know what we did into.
Okay, and do you know why I put you in that school?
Why?
So I used to run a nanny referral agency back in the days, right? And so every time that we would go somewhere, Zoe always thought that, like, well, why does people of other colors have bigger houses than us? And she always just felt like if she wanted to be around someone rich or someone that had more, it was because of the lifestyle of the people who were my clients, because they had nannies. So we would go over there and I would go check on the nannies, collect money, things like that. So she really kind of lost a little bit because she didn't see that in her own environment, in her own community. Obviously, we didn't live in bigger houses back then like the way they do. So I was like, oh no, you need to go to a black school. You need to go to an African American school. You need to know a little bit more about you. And so I felt like that was important. I mean, I even took it to the point we even moved into a higher end black community. So we lived in a 5,000 square foot home, and she went to, MTAF, and I felt like they introduced her to a lot of stuff I personally could not introduce her to or wasn't really familiar with. So MTAF really inspired her to be the person that she is today. So I appreciate that school. Truthfully, I do. Seriously. And I mean, that's how y'all met. And, y'all knew from each other across the street. But, I mean, y'all learned a lot by being there, too. So I think it sparked a lot about it. And y'all kept it all these years later.
We always talk about it. I mean, because it's so crazy how, and it ties back to where we were saying, like, where you learn your history and stuff like that. And everybody doesn't have the privilege. I look at it as a privilege to be able to go to a school and just learn about your history, like as a black person, like so young. That's so crazy. And I mean, I'm like, okay, like we moved out. Like I think I stopped second grade, and you stopped. What grade did you stop? Second grade, first grade. But those formative years is important. Like we didn't have to go all the way.
No, but, we didn't. But I will tell you one thing about MTAF. So the reason why she stopped going there is because we moved to LA. So we went and we auditioned. She was with LA Models, LA Talent, but her audition was what she learned from MTAF. I'm Black and I'm Proud.
Oh, period.
She had kids singing it from the balconies on Melrose. Okay? I'm Black and I'm Proud. I was like, what in the world? She took the poem that y'all said every single morning and y'all she did. Yeah. And I have the clip. Yeah. I swear to y'all. I'm like,
you saw something. Why are you exposing this info?
It's true. Like,
that's how we was. That's how we was.
She was like, black is cool, real cool. Y'all remember that?
Yes, I have the video. We're going to clip it in there, y'all. Y'all going to see.
I swear. Yo, let me tell you, that clip right there got her 5 interviews. She had like all these different agencies that went her. And then that's how she got with LA Models, LA Talent because of that. And she was real proud about who she was, the color of her skin. And everybody was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I want to sign her. I was like, yeah, sign her. You can sign her. You can sign her.
It's going to turn some heads.
Right. So that tells you a little bit about history and the culture. She was proud about her history and her culture. She didn't have no problem saying that.
Period.
And she's still like that.
So do y'all think the stuff today that we're seeing in the movies and, the shows and stuff like that, like, do you think it's inspiring the youth? Like, I don't know. That's the question. Like, is it...
When y'all think of black film today and black TVs, what are some things that come to mind?
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Black Panther. Okay.
Have you guys watched The Color Purple yet?
Yes.
I haven't.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
Loved it. I cried at the end because it was just so like, wow. She got from here to here. And now she has her own store that her real father got her. And it's just like, wow, you've been through all of this. And now you have a whole community, a whole family now. So I really love that movie. That's really my favorite movie.
I gotta see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I'm guilty.
Well, what are some other things that come to y'all mind? I know for me it's like Insecure, Blackish.
Yes, Issa Rae was dope. And I love the way that she portrayed that it was okay to have a whole conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
Look here. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta get your life together.
That's how we be.
So I think she was pretty dope. She brought a lot. And then I'm just real excited on the way that she got started. She just created avenues when there was no real, like there was a whole white space. She just dived right in. So that was dope.
Yeah. So I feel like filmmakers, like we've been having these conversations amongst ourselves of having this catch-22 of like our responsibility to tell historical stories or stories that are going to educate, spread awareness about things, but also stories like Insecure and like Blackish and things like that that are just regular everyday stories that just represent us, because sometimes everything doesn't need to be filled with education and stuff like that. And so there's this debate whether or not like we need the slave movies anymore, or do we need like things like 42 or things like that, because it's at the end of the day the resources are but so limited. So it's like what goes to that can't go to something else, you know? So as a viewer, what are you more drawn to, you know? And like what is your opinion on it?
I'm drawn to things that actually have a positive outcome.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much negative in the world. There's so much things that's going on. To me, I need something that's going to make me get up and be inspired. I need something that's going to motivate me to be like, because if I really want to look at negative stuff, I could look at the stuff in my own house every day. I stay with some type of drama. So it's like something's always popping. But do I want to keep drawing on that? Or wait, I would need that feedback. I want to feel like there is a happy ending. Or what is my happy ending? You know, everybody's happy ending story is different. You know, I'm all big about success. I'm all about, you know, being an entrepreneur and basically finding different avenues to grow and being that financial wealth. I'm all about financial wealth. That's all I teach my kids. If I don't teach my kids nothing else, I teach them that every single day. So that's something that I want to see in films. If you're going to be, you know, out here, you're going to be producing, you're going to be a director, show me something that's going to be beneficial. Facts. Show me something that I can take with me and add value. I feel like adding value is everything. You can't add value to my life. I really want to watch it because I feel like you just taking away from my time. So I'm not really for the drama. I'm for if it's drama to get me where I got to go.
What about y'all?
I like movies that, you know, have a little bit of light too. Like the comedy is what draws me. Like I love to just sit up and laugh because, you know, I feel like if I'm up and laughing, I'm intrigued. Like I'm ready to laugh again. So I'm, you know, watching and, you know, that's gonna make me understand more and stuff.
I like movies that start off depressing. And I'm just like,
She didn't say Color Purple. What's that movie?
No, but I like watching like upcoming videos. Not videos, movies and films or TV shows. And it just builds and builds to the point at the end I'm like, wow. Like, oh my gosh.
So
that's very
you like that journey.
Whoa, my heart just exploded from this movie, just watching it. And you get really connected with the characters. So that's what I like to see. Just something negative but turn into a positive.
And so, like, how does storytelling impact your life? Does it have an impact on your life? Like, watching stories, narrative, telling stories to people, does it have an impact on your life? Do you guys think about it? And if you were to just sit back and think about it for like 2 seconds or so, like, how has it impacted your life, do you think?
Yeah, it changes my mood sometimes. Like, when I read something, you know how after you watch a movie, you change your whole personality, just like that movie for quite a bit.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
That's how sometimes I feel. You know, like reading something or, you know, just telling a story or like a summary of a movie. You'd be like, yeah. And it's like, ooh, I'm like one of the characters.
Yeah.
That's how you feel, like just very connected to
most definitely.
the film.
Because, definitely. Because I feel like with like different stories and stuff, I can tie that back to my life, and I can see kind of myself like, oh, this story. It's like I can just tie it back to things that I've been through, things that I've seen, and so it's just good to
So things that are
look back at
relatable.
it. Yeah, things that are relatable.
Relatable and relationship.
What about you? How's storytelling impacted your life?
In film,
Just in general.
storytelling.
It could be any type of storytelling.
You know you like to storytell.
I do.
And exaggerate.
And exaggerate. Yeah.
Because y'all really have to.
I know. The double team is crazy right now.
And we tag team stuff I told you about earlier. They were playing. They be coming for me. Yo, you gotta watch your kids sometimes. Now they making me become defensive, and I don't want to be like that on this show because this ain't even live, so we could cut this. I'm the best storyteller in the house, y'all. And I do, put a little drama and it be a little extra, but it be good. So I feel like movies do that to me too. Like when I tell a movie, I add just like a little
Yeah.
and then everybody tell you like, yo, I didn't even see that part, but it was there.
Yeah. You got it.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah. If it was a detail.
You ain't see it, but
you gotta add.
It was in there.
Yeah.
A little harder.
What part was that? I hate
You ain't seen it.
Right. We always be trying to fact check. Let me check real quick. And then she don't even see it. She already be co-signing. Like, y'all know y'all gotta eat. Y'all know I still pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
These two right here, boy. Ooh. Yeah, I like to watch movies, but I'm a huge storyteller. And people love my stories. And if they don't, I don't really care. Because I'm still going to tell my story anyway.
Exactly.
So, boy, earlier I was like, I talk too much, so you can just walk out. Like, you don't even got to tell me to stop talking. Because I love to talk. It just is what it is. So, yeah, storytelling plays a role in my life.
That's good.
That's what keeps me interesting. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Was that good?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yes, it's all around us. Yeah, we were just talking about how, in our last panel, we were talking about how sometimes, like, our family is the first people we hear stories from, you know what I mean? And so we brought you up, Ms. Teresa, and just, like, how, like, it's impacted. Y'all's storytelling impacts our storytelling, you know what I mean? So it's very important to get y'all's perspectives, too, because, sometimes, like, it's just so simple, like, you sitting on the porch, you listening to your grandma speak, or like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, the family all around. I was saying how, like, whenever our family gets together, like, we just sit in the living room, tell stories from the past.
Talk.
Just talk and tell stories. And it be the same stories. And then maybe one time it's a new one and you like, okay, good chapter. Like, you know what I mean? You learning more about these characters from the past, like, and it's real cool. So it's like all of that impacts, like, how we tell our stories and stuff. So yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Zoe?
Oh, well, storytelling has impacted me greatly. That's why I wanted to be in film, I feel like escapism is so precious. Like you said, there's a lot of drama in the world. So if we could take a few moments, 30 minutes, hour and a half away from the world and dive into another world, see things, experience things that we probably will never be able to in this life, it's just all about making your way through life and how you can cope with things, how you can take things and gaining perspective. I can't be all over the world, but I can travel the world through film or through hearing your stories about the world because you got so many. So, yeah.
And I've been a lot of places, but me and her don't like the same film, FYI.
Yes.
Just put it out there. For us to go to the movies, between Anthony, Kayla, me, and Zoe.
So how would you describe the type of movies that I like?
Them suckers be serious. They be freaking dramatic. And
Exactly.
too realistic.
Exactly.
I be like, what just happened? Like, why am I watching this?
I just took him to 2 movies yesterday. He was asleep in the movies.
She called me. It's 12 o'clock. I'm finna take a nap. I've been up since 6. She called me, Kari, can you take me out to Phipps? Phipps, what you mean?
Right.
So she dragged me up there, and I had to watch 2 movies, and they all serious. And then the second one, I was over. I just went back in there, reclined the chair, and went to sleep. I was over it.
Whose movie was that? She had me. No, she
you
had me watch this person's movie. All jokes aside, y'all. This dude was with this chick at a party. Something happened at the party. The girl left, somebody left drunk. They get into a car accident. They almost die. I'm like, yo, why am I watching this? Like, the one that had the little short clips. Mira. Is it Mira?
The body one? Not the body one, but the...
I don't know.
Is it Waves?
Is that what the movie was?
No, I don't know. It's the one that killed the girlfriend?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's up with that? I don't want to watch that. I feel some type of way. Like, I literally wanted to fight the dude for trying to kill his girlfriend because I got daughters. So it's relatable to me. I'm a mom. The first thing I'm thinking about is I'm taking this personal. So I don't want to watch this. My nerves start getting bad. Then I'll call her sometime. I'll be like, yo, you need to watch.
So what you
don't need to be out at night. Why are you out? Where you like this girl right here?
Would you say it's too relatable?
It's
like
too
to where
relatable.
it's too much.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
I can't be carrying that type of, you know. And then she don't live at the house anymore. She live on her own. That's cool. You know, I don't have to check up on you. I really don't know what you do half the time anyway. But then she'll call me one time. It'd be like 3 a.m. Oh, man, my tire bust. Or I ran out of gas. Can you tell me? Yo, it's 3 a.m. Like,
That happened like one time.
it doesn't matter.
I was leaving your house.
I was
leaving your house. That's
ridiculous. And then her dad gets in the car and blows her up too, talking about, oh, this ain't the first time this happened. That something else happened. He had to come get you.
I don't know.
Oh, she locked herself out the car. Yeah. She locked herself out the car. Yeah.
That happens sometimes. Anyway,
Well,
so we were talking about to get back to it. And the movie's got a lot of trauma. Okay,
Right. This is why I don't do trauma.
but
I think about all the bad things that
and
can
I
happen
see what
to my
y'all saying,
kids.
because like escapism is very important. Like I'm starting to learn that too. It's like I like the serious movies and the drama and I like it all. Like, and y'all may be like, what y'all watching and stuff like that. But I like it all. But there be times where I'm like feeling so much of life in the world where I'm like, I cannot watch this right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or if I'm trying to go to sleep, I'm like, I cannot watch something. Like, I need to turn on something funny and I need to, you know what I'm saying? Your dreams, what you dream about. I need to turn on something light. I need something to uplift me and not bring down my mood. Even though, Kayla, like you said, there's movies out there where it starts low and it gets high. But sometimes you got to be able to sit through the low and get to the high.
Because Waves ended nice. It was a love story at the end.
It was a love story at the end, but I was struggling. I was struggling to get to the end because I was so caught up on the things that happened, like as a process. I don't know. It's different for me. You know what I mean? One, the way I grew up, you know what I'm saying? And then when you raise girls, well, for me, I raised girls and I have my bonus son, but it's just there's so much stuff that I don't want to happen to my kids. So,
So we were also talking about trauma in movies. Does the trauma in movies that's depicted ever feel like exploitation? Like, do you ever feel like the things and situations depicted in the movie are kind of exploiting the situation, or do you feel like it's necessary?
That's a good question. I'm gonna pass on that one.
Okay.
You have an answer for that one?
I'm gonna pass it back to y'all.
Ping pong, who answering?
Right. Or does it ever give you that icky feeling? And do you think that icky feeling is exploitation, or do you think it's just a product of the content?
I don't think so, because any situations can happen and it can get to that extent. So I feel like some movies, it could be like very uncomfortable to watch, but it's like that happened or will happen. So it's like, I don't know. It's just,
I don't like watching any movie that has to do anything with human trafficking. Period.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, are you many films about human trafficking? Is that exploiting it or is that bringing awareness? I feel like it's bringing awareness because it does happen to kids. I mean, it could happen to me. So that's why I don't really watch movies like that, but I am aware of it. So that's why I kind of like movies that bring up situations like that.
So do you feel like you wouldn't be able to get an awareness of it other than like in a movie? You know what I mean? Like, is that the only place where you're getting awareness of it?
Oh no, definitely like news channels.
News
but
channels.
I feel like movies, people are more gravitated towards that than like the news. Especially my generation. We don't read the news. Yeah. We get stuff from TikTok or from the movie theater or from YouTube. So I feel like movies, it reaches out to more people.
That's what I was going to say. Social media.
But the things like human trafficking or other things, it's like, are you happy to, and I don't know, this question might not come out right, so bear with me. But like, are you happy to be aware? Like, do you feel like you need to be aware? You see what I'm saying? Or like,
facts though, because it puts you in the mindset where it's just like anything can happen. So it's just like, you know, like, and then it's like the movies, they make it like so dramatic. So it'll make you like feel it. Like we was watching Origin yesterday, and like it was the scene where the boy was running and the Latino came behind him and put him on the ground. The gunshot, but the gunshot was so loud, and it's just he put it in his chest. So I was jumping.
That was too much for me. I turned my
jumping out my seat.
I closed my eyes.
I was like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying?
For context, they in Origin, they and this is interesting for me even to say this though, but because like they have a scene where Trayvon Martin is like getting killed, and they like show the gunshot, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like that was a little bit too much, you know what I'm saying? But I mean but also I don't know. It happens. Like, you know what I mean? You got to see it. Like, either you turn away or you don't, you know? But that's what I mean when I say, like, awareness. Like, some things, it's like, do you have to be aware of it in picture form? Like, in image form?
Do you think seeing the actual image is going to bring more awareness than just knowing about what's happened?
Yeah. Yes, because I'm a big believer of you got to see it to understand it. You know, because like you can hear somebody say something all day, but once I really see it, I believe it. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's
it's
why
just
you gotta watch everything.
Yeah,
that's why you gotta watch everything that you see. Because again, if you believe it, some people may put things out there for you to interpret them a little different than what it really is. I think the movie that comes for me is I showed these girls Taken. That was my movie Taken. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have them watch the movie Taken because one, what was it about? It was a female girl. She was, going to a different country. My kids travel a lot. They've been to like a lot of different countries, and sometimes I'm with them, and sometimes I'm not. And so I wanted them to be more aware of different things that can happen. Like, you do got to know where your nearest embassy is. You do got to know like where the closest police station is, and you need to be able to tell someone that something is going on with you. And so obviously, Taken may not be the most realistic because not a parent can go and do the things that he did, but I did feel like there is a lot of reality in what had happened and can happen, and the different things that you can do to prevent from it happening to you. Or if it does happen, these are some different things that you can take or do to kind of help you along the way of like leaving clues or, paying attention to your surroundings. So I feel like if anything, Taken was that movie for me.
Okay, so do you feel like filmmakers have so it seems like movies really impact y'all and they really make an impact on y'all.
Yeah, they do.
So do you guys feel like filmmakers have a responsibility when they make movies to be as diligent as possible to make sure that people are getting the right message without kind of like being exploited or being...
Because I feel like filmmakers have the power to change minds too.
Exactly. It can be like propaganda, to be honest.
Yeah. You need to be responsible and accountable for anything that you put out here on the streets. Because again, you don't know exactly who your audience is. You're going to say that, you put the little frame in there, this content has, violence or whatever, but I can't always protect my daughter won't see that, or if it's supposed to be over 21, whatever. So yeah, I feel like they have an accountability and a responsibility for what they put out.
So what do y'all want to see? What are some things, what are some stories that y'all want to see that you haven't seen before? Black stories.
I'm gonna stick with this. That I want to see some more like HBCU like stories. You know, like some
like college.
Yeah, like college.
Ain't nothing like a good old school day.
Yeah. So some like like executed. You know, like a good little college story. Stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, like school days, that was my college story growing up. And I've always wanted to go to like an HBCU because of that movie. Although I did not go, it still was like, man, one day I want to go and I wear the one of colors and I want to have that type of experience. So I can see where you're coming with that.
Yeah.
What about you, Mom?
Oh, me?
What's some stories you want to see, Caleb?
For me, I kind of want to be relatable, so I went to a predominantly white school, so I kind of want to see that a black girl in a predominantly white school, you know, switch into a predominantly black school and learning, you know, about black people, like style and how the way they act, because it's different from white people. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, saying that, was it a big transition for you?
Yeah, it was a huge difference how people act, the way that they talk to you, and I went from a small school to a big school, so that's another thing. So the amount of people in the classroom, and I don't know, just the way that people act is so different. Like I would just sit in class and I'll be like, wow, there's so many black people. I'm like, it's crazy.
Girl.
Well, what I'm gathering,
that's her truth.
That's her truth.
That's
And what I'm saying, what I'm gathering is y'all
wanna
need
just
to see yourselves reflected
Yeah.
because that's what you're going through too. You want to go to a HBCU. You looking for more colleges. You want to see some HBCU stories. Yeah. You transition into school. You want to see black girl moving from white school to black school in some stories. Like that's what we need to see ourselves reflected. Like honestly, we should be able to pull up. The goal is we should be able to pull up the TV, click the remote, and whatever you want to see is already there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was a good affirmation. Thank y'all for sharing that with us.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I don't know. What would I like to see? I would like to see the transition in education because their education is completely different from one another. Like Zoe started off with homeschool, private school, then public school. Kayla started off with public school, homeschool, then private school, then back to public school. That's a big transition, you know. And so also for the difference of that's what I would like to see if I had an opportunity, because for me, I was just trying to find the best education for the both of them. And so sometimes that meant me taking Zoe out of our school district and getting her into another school district. That was me paying money to travel 45 minutes to get Kayla to a predominantly white private school, which was 45 minutes to an hour outside of where we live. But then Zoe went to a predominantly black private school, and that was also 35 to 40 minutes away from our house. So I would like to see how parents do it. Or how
so what type of movie you want to watch?
I'm
looking
about the education, the struggle of being a parent and trying to get a good education for your child. I don't like teaching my own kids. So
me personally, I would like to see a black Harry Potter or something like that.
That would be dope.
Yeah. Some more mythical stuff.
Like that would be good.
That's fine.
Yeah. I think that honestly, this right here is making me think that I feel like everybody in their lifetime should be able to make a film. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we should all, like, I mean, not that everybody, like, you know, needs to, but it would just be so cool, like, I think, to just have whatever story that you lived, like, out on the screen. You know what I mean? And because it can translate to so many people, like, you know, so it's like, you know, your experience, like, on the screen, then it could translate to somebody, like, states away, Kayla's experience, Sarissa's experience, like, a black Harry Potter. Like, we just need more and more and more and more and more and more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so many stories. Like,
it is a lot of stories.
And people like creativity can, like, I'm so inspired because, like, both of y'all are so creative. It's so weird. I'm like, how did y'all come up with that? This character is a whole person.
Y'all started young with that too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, MTAF they used to have us doing plays, picking cotton. Wow.
No,
but for real,
They took it from slavery to the Black Panthers to
the
Afrofuturism.
Yeah.
Shout out MTAF. No, but just engaging in art as Black people, even Deanna brought up Everybody Hates Chris. It may not be the exact experience that Miss Teresa's talking about with her daughters, but that's a Black story that aligns. You know what I mean? We got stuff out there, but we got so much more that we can still do, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, this was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for talking about movies.
Thank you.
Y'all have to think a little bit deeper than what y'all just play on Netflix.
No.
Right.
Make this
We're gonna wrap this up.
It's quick.